in this space for a while now. But we've also seen that Axie Infinity didn't work that well. We now have Vasu Sharma, who's going to moderate this particular panel discussion and talk more about the play to earn economy with all the experts on the stage. Vasu Sharma, if I could please have you here.
Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to TDeFi Pavilion. So, we are having this discussion today on the topic is play to earn economy sustainable? So, I would like to invite our esteemed panelists on the stage. I would love to invite Mark from GOB. Please welcome Mark. I would love to invite Rutherford from Sinverse. Please join us, Rutherford. And I would also love to call upon the stage Jamie, the CEO of VulcanForged. So Jamie is here. And I would love to invite Mr. Prasoon, the founder of BornToDieGame. So welcome, gentlemen. Please have a seat. So I believe you yourself comfortable. Yeah, sure. So let's begin with the panel. All right. So we have seen the narrative play to earn narrative built itself, and a lot of startups have been using this narrative to raise millions of dollars of funds, right? But we see, like, a lot of traditional companies like Epic Games, Tencent, Rockstar Games, so on and so forth, have already put in millions of dollars into this industry, right? So you being the founders of enterprise level blockchain games, would love to know about your projects. First of all, please introduce yourself, and I would love to know about your projects and how you have integrated this narrative in your projects. So please enlighten our audience. Let's start with Mark.
Hi guys, I'm Mark, co-founder and CEO of Goons of Balatron. We're a Web3 gaming studio that's starting off by building a trading card game. So for those familiar with the likes of Hearthstone or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, we're sort of fusing them together and using our experience and knowledge of the last 30 years of trading card games to create as fun of an experience for players as possible. Of course, being a Web3 gaming studio, we are tailoring towards the users that want play and earn, but we're trying to be fun first. Because if you don't have a fun product, this whole thing is going to crumble. We're essentially trying to create an experience for players that's familiar and such that they're not overwhelmed with this negative stigma of crypto and NFTs. And using our design, onboarding, and UI skills, we're essentially giving them a pathway to bridge from Web 2 to Web 3. So despite being a Web 3 gaming studio, we are very Web 2 focused. We've onboarded a lot of personnel from the Web 2 world. And that's one of our competitive advantages. We're trying to bring the fun to this industry, but we're also taking into consideration all the developments in this Web 3 world.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the introduction. Jamie, would love to hear love to hear about your project and how have you integrated the play to earn economy in the Vulcan ecosystem.
Sure. So I'm Jamie, CEO of VulcanForged. We're the makers of VulcanVerse and Berserk and I think 12 other games. I think we're one of the original fantasy metaverses out there. And I think we are one of the first few to implement a secondary token in the play to earn methodology. And we kind of pushed, I wouldn't say our hand was forced there, but we kind of, PYR is our main token and Lava is our secondary token. And we saw what Axie was doing with SLP And so we kind of sort of looked at the model they were using and kind of, I'd say, advanced it a little bit. So the more you play, the more you do earn. But instead of just having a complete payout system where anyone can come in, grind, take the money and sell, we had a lot more incentivized techniques to use that secondary token. For example, you have to use lava to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your characters. It's the gas on our blockchain. Also, we limit how much lava is produced per day. You have to reach a certain threshold before you can cash out the lava you earn. So it kind of puts a bit of a bottleneck on that inflationary measure of just giving out tokens for no reason. My philosophy on play to earn is obviously it flips and flops, whether or not it's sustainable or not, but I'm sure we'll go into that later. But that's how we've integrated play to earn in our games.
Thank you, Jamie. Prasoon, would love to know about your project, BornToDieGame, and yes, how are you utilizing the play to earn economy within your project?
Thank you. So I'm soon from Born to Die game, and we believe that we have to create a fun-loving game first beyond everything else. So we are creating a game which is an FPS 3D shooter game, just like Call of Duty and Counter Strike. We have been building for last 3 years, and we believe that gamers are not traders and speculators. So they should be able to enter the game with very very low entry barriers, whether it is the cost or whether it is the know-how of crypto. It should be a complete Web2 experience, and they should be able to play the game and make consistent income over a period of time, irrespective of market conditions and irrespective of new number of gamers joining the game. Thank you.
Now, finally, we have Rutherford from Sinverse. So I have an idea about Sinverse. I'm sure many of people from the audience also know about Sinverse, but Rutherford, please enlighten the audience about the project and how are you looking to integrate the play to earn economy in the game.
Okay. Um, First, my name is Rutherford, COO of Sinverse. Sinverse happens to be the first rated Arrow Mafia metaverse game built on the blockchain, where players basically compete actively to rise to become the kingpin of the whole of the Sinverse. Now, Sinverse is a torso of between multiple districts, and each district has an underlying story, or tale, and then also has its own economy style, that players can, sink into and try to play and earn at the same time. We have 15,000 plots of land in Sinverse, and then 17 districts. Originally, it was designed to mimic real-life cities, but at the point we felt, no, let's make it fictional. So all the cities are fictional, but if you look deeply, you will find out that every of the cities is mimicking a particular city on Earth. For instance, the Strip is more like Dubai. And then we have Chinatown mimicking Chinatown, China in real life. So if you go there, you'll find out that the architecture resembles that of China. But then this is just the architecture. So if for any reason you don't want to purchase a plot of land to play the game, what you need to do, if you are interested in fashion, for instance, is go to Fashion District. Then if you are into financial services, maybe fintech on the blockchain, like what Kukona has done, you go to financial district, to get a property and then build in Sinverse. Originally, it started as a play to earn economy, and then as we begin to see the limitations of the play to earn ecosystem, we decided to make it a player-run ecosystem. And now in the player-run ecosystem, what basically happened is we are mimicking real-life economy. The token scene, which is the native token of Sinverse, basically needs to move from one hand to another. How do I mean? Now let's assume you build a game shop. You own a property, you have a business license, and then you build a game shop in Sinverse. As players compete on a daily basis and then waste their bullets, they will come to your game shop to buy bullets from you and pay you with SIN. And then somebody might want to upgrade from an AK-47 rifle to an AR-15 rifle. He comes to your shop and buys the AR-15 with the SIN token. But the token you have them, what do you do with the token? You can go to, upgrade your business also with the token, or you might be taking a walk or driving in Sinverse and you get shot and you lose half of your health life. If that happens to you, you walk to a drug shop and then buy drugs to increase your health bar. Yeah. So basically, Sinverse is trying to mimic real life economy at this time. That way to keep the economy stable and increase the level of demand for the token at the same time. So that is all for Sinverse.
Great, great. Thank you, everyone, about the introduction and how you have, integrated the ecosystem, the economy into your respective projects. So, like, there's a general misunderstanding. I'm sure many people from the audience might have the same, that people use play to earn and play and earn like a similar narrative, right? But there's a big difference in both the narratives. So like I would love to know about your side. Like, what do you think? How play to earn and play and earn are different, and what's the real difference here? So
Yeah, so we had a lot of people coming to our booth and saying, this looks like a play turn game. We want to know more about it. And I was one of those annoying people that kept correcting them that it's play and earn. It's a similar sounding thing, but there is quite a big distinction. Play turn is when you go to the game with the objective to earn rather than have fun. And play and earn, and there's other methodologies that you can use, is when you go to the game because you actually want to have fun first. And through unlocking achievements, through your progress, and sort of exploring the universe in the game, you get certain assets and other kind of rewards that sort of, reward you for that journey. So one example I use is I'm an avid Hearthstone user, and I've accumulated, let's say, $2,000 to $3,000 worth of cards. I can play for 2 months, 4 months, it doesn't matter. But once I'm done, that experience pretty much ends right there. Those cards are just numbers in the database, they're dead. But if I were to be rewarded with NFTs over that period of time, I can essentially transfer that value onto another player. There's many other components to our ecosystem. It's quite a complex one. But at the end of the day, again, I'm just going to reiterate that it is fun first, and that's the approach that we hope that other games in this space, like VulcanForged over here, are going to be doing.
Yeah, look, it's play to earn. I think I've made my personal views clear on it. And I think a lot of people share in the blockchain gaming community now the idea of the sustainability of play to earn, just paying people to play your games is not really, I don't know, it's not the way forward, I don't think, if you want to sort of retain a community. And also, I think the sort of the idea of sort of just trying to earn money and have fun are two very distinct mindsets. I think play and earn, I don't know, it's a play on semantics. I don't think there's that much of a difference, really. I know what we're trying to say by saying that, well, listen, play to earn is just to play to get money, and play and earners have fun and have money. But I still think they're the same kind of things. You're trying to combine the idea of people earning and having fun. And I still think there are three pillars of a mindset in the game. You've got creativity, Minecraft. You've got just earning, Axie Infinity or whatever. And then you've got gameplay, Blizzard, World of Warcraft. And we're all just trying to marry all three subsets together, and it doesn't seem to be sticking. And I think we've reached the first phase of blockchain economies within games, which is like, oh, you can earn tokens. That hasn't really worked out. And now I think we're moving into the sort of second stage of blockchain gaming, where people are looking at how advanced they can make economies within games. And that's where it gets very interesting. I watched the app from Animoca talk yesterday, and he talked about the metaverse. It's not about earning profit and loss. It's more about how can you introduce an economy into a game? How advanced can you get it? Allow community to add layers on top into the game through using blockchain technology. And I think that's going to be the second phase forward. If you want to use the word play to something, I think play to own will probably be the next more sustainable thing. Play to own an NFT, which is going to be used in the game as opposed to play to just earn money. But yeah, it's all early days and exciting nonetheless.
I think, according to me, it's both. It's primarily dependent on the audience we're talking about. Some people will always be behind play and earn, and while others would be just looking to make that small buck. So in any sustainable economy, not just game, anywhere, we always see all category of people. Even in the real life, there are people who are splurging. So this is a clear example of consumption and splurge economy right here, right now. We don't need to do all this to live our lives, right? So in the game also, there has to be different segment of people, and the game should be able to welcome all of them, create certain elements in the game like social bragworthiness, social belongingness, lifestyle, which will make games sustainable, while some players are spending more money than others just for their lifestyle or just because they like that NFT.
So I would love to use our game or our metaverse, Sinverse, as a perfect example to differentiate between both. Now, if you go to Chinatown, we have a shooting range. We have a shooting range where people can go to, handle rifles, and then aim to shoot. It's a beautiful game, highly addictive, but people do not come there and then stake tokens and then use the tokens to play. No, you play and then the developers reward you for coming there to play. So basically what we've done is every week there will be one winner. That is when the game goes live, fully anyway. Every week there will be one leader, a winner, who will be on top of the leaderboard. So he needs to commit time to play on a daily basis and shoot, aim. So once you climb to the top of the leaderboard, we announce the winner at the end of the week. The next week it refreshes and so on and so forth. Every week it happens. Now, that is basically a play to earn, ecosystem. Yeah. People are playing and then they are earning from, the game itself. The game itself. But now, if you come to Sinverse and you buy a business license, you set up a business, be it a gun shop, a health shop, or you want to sell drugs, or you want to sell vehicles, you are a car dealership. What you are going to do is basically play and earn. You are going to play and then you are earning, because we are not giving you tokens in reward. You need to trade. You need to use the open market. Sell your vehicles. People come buy and give you, the tokens or money. That means use digital currency. Then if you are a gun runner, players will have to come and buy the guns from you and actually use the guns and need to exhaust them. So basically you have a circular economy that play and earn, create. But let's assume we only have, that kind of economy. Not everybody will have the funds to want to set up a car dealership or set up a gun shop. And because of that, that is why we have mini games in so many districts. So whatever mini games you want to play, whether it's the shooting game, the gun in the gun range, or it is a traffic light game, or you want to drive your vehicle and then pick passengers and drop them, so that you can earn small bucks at the end of every week or as you go. It's still good because you are basically incorporating two classes of people, small-time players and big-time players. So you satisfy the yearning of these two, and then this is blockchain, where there is no discrimination between the big and the small. Everybody has a fair chance. So at this time, we would not want to, push play to earn aside and say no, it's not a perfect. It does not create a perfect economy. It has its use in blockchain. It has, its own, benefit, just as play and earn has its own benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone explained how it is all about, infusing a new economy to your project that retains user. For that, the game needs to be, immersive and should be, interactive, that the player enjoys while earning, right? So we have seen a lot of countries, people from Philippines, more than half of the population was dependent on Axie Infinity during the times of COVID. They earned their living from the play to earn game itself, right? We see people in Africa, Korea, now in India as well. They are heavily playing these blockchain games and, they are earning a living out of it, right? But on the other side, we also see that some of these games, some of these projects, lack that business sustainability, and they, fail to hold the user, the user interest and the attention after a certain point of time, right? So what do you think, like, a game should have that, holds the user, and it is is it just immersion, or there should be more elements added to it so as to keep the business sustainable? Mark.
Yeah, so Web3 play to earn grew primarily in the eastern parts of the world. Obviously, to get global player audience, you need to give them a traditional experience with the same player engagement and retention tactics like leaderboards, tournaments, and things like that. And one way we're trying to captivate this Web2 audience to start to learn about crypto and NFTs, because there is this negative stigma around them, is to give them little visual cues. So we are starting out as a web browser game, but obviously we're going to be on mobile apps and as many platforms as possible. And with these visual cues, I guess I could give an example. Let's say a player does something really cool in the game and they get 5 points. They did like a really nice achievement. We might give them a cue that to get 10 points or more, they might need to hold this NFT. But it's an optional Web3 layer. We're not force feeding them crypto or NFTs. We're giving this opportunity for them to explore our world and understand our complicated economy in a more simplified way. There's a lot of aspects to our world. You can have the Goons NFT characters, which are the fundamental parts of this game. Every game needs, lovable characters. We had those NFTs since we launched in August 2021. Since then, we added many other ones. One other thing is games have to be free to play. We're giving 40 non-NFT cards for free and giving 260 NFT cards as optional to satisfy this Web3 experience. And overall, again, just to reiterate, games need to feel familiar and fun. And if a player is going to be captivated in that world, you can pretty much start to engage them in any other methodologies.
Coming back to your comment about the Philippines and Axie Infinity, and yeah, look, that was the first thing that sort of brought play to earn into the mainstream media, I would say. I would say Axie Infinity was probably like the big thing. But then you've got to ask yourself, okay, that's really cool. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people were earning money out of a game, and that sort of made waves in the mainstream media. I guess it depends what's your KPI as a gaming company. What's your key performance indicator? What are you trying to achieve here? Like, I can't remember who the company made Axie Infinity. Sky Mavis, I think. Anyway, so I mean, did they come in and think, listen, we're going to create a real altruistic model where people can play a simple game, earn money from it, and we're going to try and retain the model, the value of that secondary token as much as we can, so people around the world can benefit from poorer countries, and we'll retain it. I don't know if that's where they came in from. That wasn't the purpose, and if that's not the purpose and that's where it went, then that's not going to be a sustainable business model. If you go in and say, listen, we're going to use the economy of blockchain to provide those from poorer countries that play a game, whatever level, to earn as much money as possible, and we keep it sustainable, then fine. That's what you set out to do. But you've got to be honest with yourselves and your methodology and your destination of what you're trying to do with blockchain economy. Are you trying to revolutionize things? Are you trying to sort of provide some altruistic game, or whatever you want to call it, where people can earn money? And if you do that, how complex does a game really have to be? If your goal is to allow people from poorer countries to sort of earn money and by clicking a few cartoons like Axie Infinity really was, then you don't really need to make this high class MMO more, because then you're going down the gaming rabbit hole. So it's really hard. I think you really have to set out from a blockchain game studio what your goals are and your purposes are. And I think for us, we're finding that allowing, because sorry to go on a little bit. I mean, economies, they're thousands and thousands of years old. We've got crypto companies, ourselves included. We've got the ability to offer an economy within a game, and we're like, we don't know. We're not, Adam Smith. We're not economists. You can't just throw in a load of tokens and hope it sorts itself out into like a capitalist or a right wing, a left wing. All these different type of economies. We haven't got the ability to do that. So I think using blockchain technology and the money involved, allowing communities to use that, a tool set for them to build within the metaverse on top of each other, that's what could be used. But trying to dictate an economy using tokens and models and play to earn, it's never going to please anyone. You've got to ask out what your purpose is. But yeah, I think using the blockchain for as more of an open source within the metaverse for the community is probably the next step, I'd say.
Yeah, love the thought that the vision should be clear. What you are trying to serve the audience, it should be clear, and it needs not to be a high-end graphic-based game. It can be a simple game, but if the vision is aligned and the use cases are clear, then you can definitely, make yourself a good business and stand out of the box, right? Yeah, love the thought, Jamie. Prasoon, I would like to know.
So there are different kind of participants when it comes to a game. So there are some people who are just there to make money, and for them the requirement is entirely different. They should be able to enter the game with a low cost, and they should be able to make consistent income over a period of time. There are others who are just NFT traders or speculators. So they want to make a consistent income by investing into NFTs. While there is a third category of people, which are the actual gamers and mass gamers, which have still not onboarded to Web3. They need a low entry barrier in terms of cost, in terms of Web2 experience while they're playing the game. And also it should be a fun-loving game where they have social aspects, they have things to take pride of. If we are able to cater to all these three different segments of gamers, we have gone through and we've created an economy which is sustainable, and more number of gamers are able to play that, because even after 5 years of the launch of the game, when a new gamer is joining, he's rest assured that he's going to make that $7 an hour. Thank you.
So, Angry Birds. Angry Birds is one,
Angry Birds.
one game that, I played a lot back in the days. There was nothing really complicated about Angry Birds, but millions of players across the globe were stuck to Angry Birds because of its simplicity. Now, that simplicity basically sometimes translates to sophistication, and that is what we want to adopt, when developing, games. It basically will be the major thing attracting, users. That is one, and that is why, because I always make mention of Sinverse, just because we have that at the back of our mind. That is why we have these small mini games, multiple mini games. So every district you go to, there is a mini game for you to play. And then, this will basically, at least if we have 5 mini games, there is no way a player will not see a mini game that is interested in playing. Now, we talk about also cross-project activities. For instance, most of the guys coming to Sinverse are from VulcanForged. Some of our players are with VulcanForged also, because we formed a synergy from the grassroots while building up. So let's assume we have, over 10 projects or over 20 projects, gaming projects that we are synergizing with. They basically move from one blockchain game to the other blockchain game, because it becomes more like a blockchain gaming family. We cannot compare this with traditional gaming at the moment that has millions of players across the globe, because this is still an asset industry. We are growing on a daily basis. We are finding new ways, to present a product out there, so that even traditional gamers can cross over, to the blockchain to play. But one other thing that, I really love, blockchain gaming projects to, embark by, is to try to mimic real life economies. Like Jamie said, we are not economists, we are developers. But if blockchain gaming mimic real life economies, what will basically happen is you have more people who are not even into gaming coming to metaverses. How? Qcoin is a financial district in Sinverse. If the development of the financial district is complete and you have Qcoin office there, people who are traders that use Qcoin, we basically cross to Sinverse, go to the financial district, and do their transactions. So let's assume somebody is playing the game, and then he needs to make a transaction. You don't need to log out from the game and go out there to use the application. Just go to financial district and carry out your transaction. So this is the beauty of what we are trying to do. And this will basically, translate to mean that the metaverse will have a big future, because we are going to have many people who are going to cross over. Since what they can do, out there, they can do it on the metaverse.
Awesome, amazing. So yeah, the point that you can have a big game and you can integrate the mini games to attract all the segments of the audiences is clearly a beautiful thought to make the business more sustainable in the economy and have a larger user base from all the niches, right? So lastly, I would love to know your suggestions for the new entrepreneurs that are coming into the space, that are building these their businesses on the top of play to earn mechanics, play to earn economies. What piece of advice would you like to give to them?
Well, yeah, I'll keep this one short. Web3 is a nice way to onboard a large community before you even have a game. In traditional game studios, you start off with a game. You might have a player base of 0, and you have to do traditional marketing, collabs, and whatever else. But Web3 is a nice way of bootstrapping a business. So an NFT sale makes a lot of sense. But we think, in our experience over the last year building Goons of Balatron, you should have some kind of game to back it up ahead of time, and essentially a plan. You can even call it a Web2 plan. But essentially, you need to be able to bridge the Web2 and Web3 worlds, because Web3 is full of speculators, investors, and people that essentially act in your community like salesmen for you. They have skin in the game. They care about the direction of the company and the future and the progress that you're going to make. But you need to start to onboard the Web2 players. So that's one thing that we're doing next. We're taking the approach of collaborating with other GameFi projects, like these guys over here, and everyone else under the TDeFi umbrella. Obviously, NFTs are really powerful that they give you user real ownership, but the interoperability, like this guy over here mentioned, is one of the most powerful things we can do. Collabs, gathering community, creating social experiences. That's something that the Web3 really adds to traditional business. And yeah, that's one of the approaches that we've taken over the last year.
Yeah, I'll keep it short as well. So if I was giving advice to a Web3 game blockchain fan, okay, so I think probably 3 points I would say. One would be patient. Be patient, and it's an emerging technology. Be patient like it was when the internet started, when certain games started. I truly believe that blockchain technology will be an essential part of maybe not gaming, but within virtual worlds, or there'll be an industry there which will be colossal compared to where it is now. Be patient and trust that there is a reason big institutions are investing in what they call the metaverse and blockchain gaming. Second of all, I would set out your targets and KPIs right from the beginning. What are you trying to achieve? Is it gameplay? Is it fun games? Is it an altruistic system where people can benefit by playing? Is it an economy within the virtual world? What are you trying to do, and what part of blockchain are you trying to integrate in there, and how and why, and what's your end goals? As personally, I know we went through a lot of ups and downs and marry this and that, which are incompatible, and work out what does and what doesn't work, and we're still working out as we go along. And my third piece of advice is really focus on simplifying the user interface, user experience, the UX, because those coming from Web 2 to Web 3, some of them still see it as an utter challenge and mind-boggling, and see it as a confusing idea, whereas NFTs will be part of everyone's dictionary eventually. So make that interface as easy as possible from the transition. But they're the 3 points I'd give advice about.
I think you should first focus on your target audience. Who's your customer? Who's that gamer? What do they like? Do extensive research on the gamers, and then align it with what you're trying to build. First piece is that. And when it comes to Web3, it's not just that, it's also a financial model which is lying underlying. You need to understand that it's a whole economy in which they should believe. Only if they are believing in the economy, that is when they'll hold the tokens and they'll participate in the financial model. Otherwise, it will be just farming. Thank you.
So for those coming to Web3 to develop blockchain games, my advice would be to come in and build premium projects. A lot of people feel that the industry, what the industry serves, is money. You come to the industry and then the industry serves money. No, it requires real effort, to build a product that will become a product that will be used, very well, and a product that will amass, players. So if you build something that is premium, something that is easy to use, something that is outstanding, definitely people will be moved, to use it. There is no better marketing out there than building a quality product. What we are building is more like GTA. It took over 3 years to develop GTA with millions, hundreds of millions of US dollars. I think over 300 billion US dollars. So imagine the amount of money that was pumped to build that amazing game. Similarly, you are going to burn a whole lot of money trying to build a product. So why burn all this money and then your product is useless? You need to commit time, you need to lose sleep, and then build until you have that project that is outstanding, that people will actually play. So that is my advice to them.
Thank you everyone. So like we have the OGs here, right here. So the suggestions, they are definitely very helpful to the entrepreneurs that wish to enter the space and make it even better. So lastly, closing the panel today, I would love to tell the audience also that we at TDFi, when we structure the token economics for a play to earn game, we make sure that the rewards, the inflows that are coming in for a business are always higher than the outflows, so that the rewards are not just being minted out of the thin air, right? There's some treasury backing it. Then only a business can be sustainable, and the economy, the play to earn economy, really defines its narrative and the use case, right? So according to me, I strongly believe in the play to earn ecosystem, and I believe it is the next future. All the traditional companies are entering the space, and big games like we have read articles of GTA that they are also planning to launch NFTs in the upcoming games. We have heard about Epic Games that they're going very bullish in this ecosystem. So according to me, this is not a hype. People call it a hype, but I believe this is the real disruption that is here in the ecosystem, and it is set to revolutionize the industry. So with this thought, let's conclude this panel, and I would like to thank all of you guys to give beautiful thoughts and enlighten the audience with the same. Thank you so much, guys. This has
Thank you.
been- Yeah. So we have these small gifts from our side that we would love to give you the. Here you go.
Thanks.
Jamie.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do we need the pictures?
I'll join. I'll join the party.
It's a phone stand. I hope it went well. No, you won't die.
No, you were good.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I was shivering. Yeah.